Good.
Okay, go ahead, Director.
Thank you for coming today. My name is Mike Bruno. I'm the Director of Investigations and Homeland Security. I want to talk about some significant cases that the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has solved, and we ask for the community's assistance in any remaining cases that may be out there. Our suspect in the first case is Jack Albert Lenz with a date of birth of 10/21/1980. On August 24th, 2020, JSO received their first known case in regards to suspect Lenz. The victim was attending his mother's funeral when Lenz broke into his home. In all of these cases related to Lenz, the victims or victim's family were attending funerals. So many times the suspect would park in the driveway disguised as a pizza delivery person, a repairman, or a serviceman of some sort. He would go to the front or rear door of the house and make entry. In one of these instances, the suspect entered the residence and the homeowner was still there. The homeowner called out thinking his wife had returned to pick him up, and Lenz ran from the residence to his vehicle that was parked in the driveway. The victim saw the suspect running to the vehicle and was able to get a brief vehicle description that helped us later on. But our first big break in the case didn't come until we found that Lenz had pawned a weed eater from one of the burglaries. We were able from that information to determine that Lenz did own a blue Chevy Cobalt car, and several witnesses had seen that vehicle nearby during some of the burglaries that Lenz committed. Our burglary detectives continued digging, as well as our crime analyst was looking at the case. Our crime analyst was able to determine that Lenz had previously lived in Arizona. While he was out in Arizona, he committed 17 burglaries in very similar fashion. Using the same MO, he would break into houses out in Arizona. He was caught and spent 5 years in prison. When he was released from prison, shortly thereafter is when he came to Jacksonville. Lenz would go to a website, review obituaries, and look for families to prey on. It appears he would target family members close to the decedent. At present, we are charging Lenz with 24 counts of burglary, 4 counts of armed burglary, 2 counts of dealing in stolen property, and 2 counts of false verification. If anyone in our community has additional information or may have unreported calls that are related to this, we ask that you please call our non-emergency number at 904-630-0500. Thank you, and with that, I'll take any questions.
The 24 burglary charges, is that 24 for each individual house that was burglarized in Jacksonville?
That's 24 houses that he broke into.
And that was since August?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Talk about, we always talk, it's so important for people to speak up, for you guys to bring something in an investigation. In this case, that led to his arrest here in Jacksonville. Speak to the importance of that.
We say all the time, the sheriff mentions it, we cannot do our job effectively without community support. And really that's what it takes. It takes everyone working together to keep our community safe. And so when we have witnesses that come forward and provide us with information or look out for their neighbors, that makes a difference for all of us. These are the types of crimes, it doesn't matter what your economic background or what, you can become a victim for. So it's important that we look out for our neighbor.
Can you go over again when he was released from prison from Arizona?
He was released, I don't have that exact date, but he was released just a handful of months before he came to Jacksonville, or before his first known burglary in August.
Thank you, Director.
Okay, thank you. Absolutely.
Anyone else ready? Okay.
My name is Mike Bruno. I'm the Director for Investigations and Homeland Security. I want to talk about a recent rash of cases that the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has solved and continuing to work on, and we're asking for the community's assistance in any of the outstanding or unreported cases that may be out there. Our suspects in this instance are Jamaris Dukes, date of birth 12/8 of 1999. He's the one with tattoos. And DeAndre Cornell, date of birth 9/12 of 1996. On January 1st, just after noon, our victim was pumping gas at a gas station near 10,500 Phillips Highway. The victim was listening to music in her earbuds when one of the suspects crept up to the side of her car and stole her purse out of the front seat. The victim was unaware of the burglary to her vehicle until her earbuds quit playing the music from her phone because it was now out of range. So within a very short time period, JSO received 2 additional calls for service with very similar circumstances. A witness in one of those cases just happened to see what the suspects were doing, and so provided us with a little bit of information. We continued to work the case, but we had extremely limited information, and we were continuing to try to develop that. At this time, we're going to play a video of one of the burglaries to the vehicle. You can see the suspect vehicle's entering. It's a silver vehicle entering the parking lot. It's going to circle around to the gas pumps, and then it's going to pull up near our victim. One of the suspects is going to exit the vehicle, will creep over, and keeping a very low profile, open our victim's door, take her purse out, and that fast he's gone. In this instance, one of the witnesses saw this and tries to interact, tells the victim and tries to interact with the suspects, but they leave the area. That's one of our witnesses there, and off they go. So on January 2nd, around 11:30, the suspects steal another purse from the 13,600 block of Phillips Highway. Once again, the victim was pumping gas. Another witness observes the crime and notifies the victim. While an officer is writing that report, 2 additional calls for service go out. Officers respond to that area and begin writing those reports. While writing one of those reports, the victim notices that her credit cards are being used at the Avenues Mall. Officers respond to the mall, locate the suspect vehicle, and develop a plan to contact the suspects when they come out. As the suspects exit the mall, they have multiple bags of items that they've purchased inside of the mall. In less than 45 minutes, they've spent nearly $1,300 on the credit cards that they've stolen. They have multiple other credit cards with them from other victims. At present, we're continuing to work this case, but when the officers searched the vehicle that the suspects were in, there was a loaded Glock 40 caliber, an additional 40 caliber Glock with an extended magazine, additional store receipts, and merchandise. These suspects are into way more than just stealing purses and going on a shopping spree. Our officers and detectives did a great job putting this case together, especially as quick as things were developing for them, and to keep the community and everyone involved safe. We continue asking the community for any assistance for any unsolved cases or unreported cases. I mean, we don't know how long they've been doing this, but that's, you saw how fast it happens, and that's their MO right there. So any information that we can get, we'd love to have it. Once again, call our non-emergency number, 630-0500, and with that, I'll take any questions.
Any idea how many total cases? You just mentioned a few there. I know there could possibly be more, but right now so far?
Those are 6 cases that occurred in the 2 days. We know that there are other incidents Whether they're tied to these suspects or not, we're still investigating that. But like I said, there may be something out there that's unreported, or somebody just, they lost a purse, or maybe they didn't lose everything to where they would call the police, but they lost everything to where they called their financial institutions or those kinds of things. We need to know this. That's once again, like we talked about before, helping out within our community and giving us the information we need to keep everyone safe. So,
Is there a possibility that there's more suspects similar to what they're doing?
there may be additional suspects. We always take a look at that. All of the cases that that are of a similar MO, we don't just assume that it's these suspects. It may be somebody else. They may have taught somebody else, or they may have learned it from someone else. So we always try to look at every facet of that to see where we can go and where the investigation leads us.
And forgive me if you already mentioned this, charges that they are facing right now?
So they're facing the burglaries to the automobiles, as well as the fraudulent charges on the credit cards and those kinds of things. And there may be additional charges as this pans out.
Anything else?
Were the guns registered to them, or are they?
We're still working on that. No, the guns were not registered to them. We would have gotten that early on, but we're still working through some of that, the pieces and parts associated with that.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.